Hey, Rose from the Tainted Toad. Hopefully it's working. It took forever to connect to the live, so I don't know. We've had some storms come through, so I might lose my connection. But today I'm painting Birthday Bash, and that's to celebrate. This is my birthday week. So I'm going to jump right in and get started. If you're joining me, tell me where you're from, say hi, and let's get creating. So I'm going to switch down here. You can see when I painted earlier today with my students. And I'm probably gonna change it up a little bit from this. I'm gonna do something a little different. It's all sticking together here. I'm so excited because I found these awesome little ring lights at Target today, and they were only $5. So I'm a little thrilled over the top because I was just thinking about getting some more light so that I don't have so much shadow going on here. In fact, this would probably be better if I move this over just a tad. There we go. Okay, anyways, I am doing this in my mixed media sketch pad, and the size is 5x7. I'm just tracing this 5x7 that I have so I get the right size. And first things first, we need to know how to create the shape of a cake, and it's really quite easy. So I'm just going to sketch it. Oh, hey, Ray. I'm going to sketch it here. I'm going to do the 2-layer cake again. So easy peasy. All you have to do is start with an oval, like so. And don't worry if it's not perfect because we're going to paint over this anyways. And then we do a straight side, and I'm working a little on an angle, so if my cake looks lopsided, I'm just going to pretend I meant to do that. And then this line is very important that we curve it. If you don't curve that line, then your cake is not going to look real. So that's the trick. That is the trick. And then next, my next oval for the next layer, I'm going to start mid, like just right about here. And I'm going to do another oval. And when drawing ovals and things, I feel like my other cake was better, but kind of looks like a top hat now. It helps if you move your whole arm. Straight line, straight line. Like I said, I'll fix the shape of this a little bit more. Curved line as I'm painting it. And then we need the platter that it's on, so once again, another oval. And you could just leave it like this to make a plate, or you can do like a fun pedestal. So I'm just going to add 2 little curvy lines. And the last thing I'm going to make sure I do is I'm going to create a little grounding line so that it looks like this is maybe sitting on a table. And a grounding line is just the horizon line in the back here. That way it doesn't look like it's floating through the air. Okay, so there's our basic shape. And I still feel like I have shadow on this. So I'm going to be messing with my lights tonight. I think I need to get another one right over here. I guess I'll have to do another Target run tomorrow for another ring light. But they were like only $5, which is pretty awesome. Okay, I'm going to start with light blue. And it is just light blue. I'm going to do the background. It's slightly off camera. Oh, yeah, okay. Let me see. Is that any better? Hopefully. I'm not sure what shows up when my thing here is on because I'm streaming through OBS and I can't really see it. I don't think I can see it on my, let me see if I can see this on my, oh, there we go. Okay. Streaming through OBS. There, now I can see it. Okay, thanks, Ray. I'm going to use some of the light blue, and then I'm also going to use some white here. If I can open it. I didn't use white last time, but I kind of want to lighten the background up. I don't know if you saw the picture at the very beginning, but I want it a little bit lighter than that. I think in my demo picture in the event, it was very light blue. So I'm just putting blue and white right on here. I'm just going to let it mix right on the background, and I'm using a flat brush, and I'm just going to work around my cake that I drew here. So yes, tomorrow is actually the big day. It's my birthday. I usually don't make such a big fuss over my birthday, but it's fun to come up with ideas to paint. Hey, Melanie. Thanks for jumping on. Oh, thank you, Ray. It's still a bit off. Oh, you know what? I have it on the side too, so that could be why. Um, Instead of like, because it's in my sketch pad, I'm just doing the 5x7. So maybe that's why it's looking a little bit off center. So what is everybody's favorite kind of cake? Like my all-time favorite dessert is strawberry shortcake, which technically is a cake, but kind of not. But if I were to do like, if you're talking about regular old birthday cake, I will do um like I like a yellow cake with chocolate frosting, like chocolate fudgy frosting, and then with mint chocolate ice cream. Though I'm not picky, I'll eat any cake, but I do like that kind. So what is everybody else's favorite cake? Cake flavor. I was asking my students earlier today, and let's see, we had a red velvet cake with somebody's. Somebody else was confetti cake. So, couple different ideas. I had a mint chocolate chip cake once, and that was really good. It was just the mint flavoring in the white cake, and then you just throw chocolate chips in. With mint chocolate chip ice cream, I was in heaven. Then, of course, there's always ice cream cake, too. That's always pretty good. Let's just face it, I like cake. Cake and ice cream, and I like sweet things. I have a sweet tooth, but I'm not a candy person. Oh yeah, yellow cake and chocolate frosting or strawberry shortcake with cream cheese. Ooh, cream cheese icing. That would be really good, Melanie. Oh, you know what, Ray? I'm gonna have to get the recipe from you because I've had to eliminate gluten in my diet um because it causes like things to flare up and stuff when I eat gluten. So I might have to get the recipe for that because I love carrot cake. Like I said, I love all cakes, but but it's so hard to find like gluten-free stuff that is like has a normal-ish um normalish kind of texture or isn't like weird. Like it's so hard to find flour. I mean, I'm learning, but I've only just started. So I can use all the help I can get because I've never had an issue with gluten before. Or the thing is, I may have had an issue all along. It's not really an allergy. It's more of a sensitivity. So I may have always had an issue, but I just didn't know it. And then I eliminated gluten. I was like, oh, I feel so much better. Maybe it was the gluten. That and dairy. Those two things seem to cause my issues to flare up. So it's much better when I don't cheat and I stick to that kind of diet. All right, I'm mixing. I wanted a light yellow, so I'm going to stick with that background that I did on the original. Well, this is actually, it's kind of thick. I was painting this just earlier today, so some of the paint there is still light. So I'm just going to do this. Light lemony, like yemony. Can't speak. It's been so crazy. Oh, that would be awesome, Ray. She says she's gonna get it for me. The recipe. That would be fantastic. I found a couple breads that I like. There's a place called Vincent Joe's near where I live. It's like a Italian market. And they have really good bread anyways, and they have a really good gluten-free bread in the freezer that's like bread. It's not like weird, and it's not the shrunken loaves. I don't, it seems like a lot of gluten-free stuff. It just doesn't rise as much. And then the little bread loaves that you get are like shrunk. They're like little mini loaves. So this is more airy and pockety, and it's more like bread. So I get that. And I can also eat sourdough, which is interesting. I guess it has something to do with the fermentation process in the sourdough mix. So that doesn't bother me. So sourdough isn't too bad. But I did find a pancake mix that works really good. It's what is it? Bob's Red Mill. He has got a gluten-free pancake mix, and that was pretty good. They had a paleo one, but I changed it and added like eggs and almond milk and vanilla in it because it was like weird tasting. So I kind of like it because then it does taste kind of good that way. So basically on the painting here, going back to what I'm actually doing, I'm just filling in around this, filling in the background. And then I can do any flavor I want for my cake. And this is where you can really have some fun because you could decorate this any way you want. I don't know if you've ever tried to make a cake. I used to do cakes a lot for my kids. You can ask them. We have a story of the Leaning Tower of Rapunzel. That was one of the famous cakes I made. I've got pictures of it before the tower fell over, but I've done some other ones that turned out really good. And now my daughter is taking over. She is becoming the cake master, my daughter Maria. So that's a point of pride there. I love that she's interested in that and she likes to do it. I think what I want to do, I'm not going to go too far from what I did before. I'm adding a little bit, this is called purple red, but let's just say it's like a light magenta or a pink. It's Master's Touch. They call it purple red. Some of their colors are so weird. Like there's yellow deep. Instead of deep yellow, they call it yellow deep. It's like somebody got their color names backwards. But anyways, and what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna paint this cake, and I'm gonna use a white, and I'm gonna try adding. I did a little bit differently earlier. I'm gonna do the white first. And when I do my brush strokes, I want to keep with the curve of this cake because what that's going to do is it's going to make it look a little bit more realistic. It's going to keep that roundish shape. So you can't see it at the moment because I'm using white. Well, you can see it a little bit with the shine. I'm going to add a little color in that in just a second so that you can get a better idea. Maybe I might do a touch of blue instead of pink. I'm changing my mind midway here. I'm going to try a little blue and just see if I like it. So I'm just going to take the blue. I just did a very little bit, and I'm just kind of pulling some of this color across. If it's, if it's more than what you want, just go back and add in some more white. Just kind of blend it and keep painting on a curve. That is the trick here. That's going to help us keep a roundish shape. And then I'm going to do the top here. Once again, I'm going around, kind of following the shape of my cake. I don't know if you know, there's that famous dessert artist. He's well known for doing his desserts. Wayne Thiebaud, I think it's how you say his name. Anyways, you've probably seen his works before. Pictures of cakes and sweets and pies that he painted. He did some pretty cool stuff. But he's one of my favorite artists. Probably because he paints sweets. There's another one too who does sculptures. Peter Anton does these amazing food sculptures. They look like real food, but they're gigantic. So he's really cool too. I like his stuff as well. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Welcome. Oh, thanks. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Thanks for jumping on. That's so sweet. Happy birthday to you too. Yeah, I was thinking about it. There's so many of us that have summer birthdays. What are the odds? Something else we have in common. I always loved having my birthday in the summer. The only thing was like I couldn't bring a birthday treat, in the school year, but then my mom would usually send one in like the last couple weeks of school. So then it was just kind of a fun end of the year treat. But I wouldn't give it up. I loved having a summer birthday. And I used to plan my own parties. I used to make my own invitations and send them to like all the neighbors and neighbor kids and my cousins. And I would basically plan my own parties. I loved it. I loved doing the party planning, the decorating, all that fun stuff. We still have decorations up for my daughter Lily's birthday. She's got, we did the pineapples. I don't know if you saw my little cake topper or not, but I did a pineapple cake topper a couple weeks ago. It turned out super cute because she's totally into pineapples. I'm adding a little blue swipe here underneath just to show our cake. It's almost looking a little bit like a wedding cake. We got a lot of white on there. I don't know if I like the white or if I liked the pink better. We'll have to see. I'm going to add lots of color to this, so I'm going to make it colorful. And then I was also going to have some fun down here with my little pedestal. We might have to get out some gold paint because gold is fun. Okay, I'm going to let that dry a little bit. And while that is drying, I'm going to paint a little garland in the back. And I'm just going to use a very small liner brush. Let me see. I have all my paint brushes organized. Just got to find the one I want. Now that they're organized, it's just a matter of finding the one I want because I have too many brushes. So it's like, oh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just taking some white on this liner brush and I'm just going to kind of map in. On the other one I had it going this way, but I think I might do it this way in the picture just because the other one I had this cake kind of off over a little bit. So I am going to just take a line of white paint and kind of sweep it along here. Not too worried about it being perfect. And then I'm going to add some of the little fun little birthday flags. You could do all sorts of cool stuff here. You could do streamers, you could do balloons. A couple of my students I painted this with today did some balloons. They were super cute. And then I'm going to do something else. It's called masking. So since I have this blue background and I'm going to be painting these flags a color, in order to keep the blue from showing through, sometimes that happens with your paints in the background. The background color will like kind of bleed through and show through. So I'm going to do something we call masking, which is just painting these white. They are not going to be white for the, when we finish, they'll be colors. But this way, I'm able to tone down that blue background so it's not going to leak through. So if I do a yellow, my yellow isn't going to start to look green. So there we go. So masking is something you can do anytime, especially if you have a dark background. This blue background is not too dark, but I do find with blue that it wants to show through. Okay, so now we kind of have things mapped out here. I'm going to go down and work on this because my cake is still drying a little bit. I'll let these guys dry up here. And okay, I'm going to ask, if you guys are still watching, do you think I should do silver or do you think I should do gold for my little platter down here? And then I'm also pulling out, I've got a couple items here I'm going to be using for my sprinkles. So for sprinkles, I was going to do the big round ones that were in the picture for the in the events, but I'm going to use some unusual tools here. So I've got a pencil that is missing its eraser. You could either use this one or one with like a new eraser would work perfect, or this little wooden skewer. So we're going to do that for some different sprinkles. Let me check this. Okay, that's pretty dry. So I'm going to start pulling some sprinkle colors here. So I've got the pink, and I think I might have some fun and do purple. I've got this really pretty bright purple. And then what else? Whoa, my ring light. I'm gonna have to coordinate this a little better so I'm not knocking things over. I think this would be kind of pretty. This is a ocean green. So I'm gonna do some ocean green. I'm doing fun pastel-y colors. I also might do, I think I'll do that light yellow that I made. I'm also thinking about this green, but it's kind of, I don't know if it might be too bright. Let's see. I think it'll still be all right. I think it'll be fun using the different bright colors. And then I got that yellow. Okay, so I was doing this with the pencil earlier, and it worked okay. But I wanted some variation in size. So I am going to create some sprinkles, and all I'm going to do is dip the end of my pencil in this, and what happens is you can like blot and make a little circle. So it might be a little blobby, but I kind of liked how the blobbiness turned out, if that's a word, blobbiness, because it almost made it look like it was a little bit three-dimensional, kind of popping off the page. And the reason why I'm using the pencil is because I can get more of a uniform circular shape here. So that is why I'm going with the pencil. Sometimes if you try to do this with a paintbrush, you don't quite get the perfectly round circle. So I'm just going to do a few of these bigger ones, and then I think I'm going to do more of the smaller ones. But I'm going to keep doing some big ones, and I just wipe off the pencil with a little bit of damp paper towel in between each color. Bring it this way just a tad. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over to the skewer. Let's see what size we can get with this one. So I want to go back in and add some more of these other colors. Some green, so you can get a much smaller dot with this one. You can kind of get these to scatter. Get some more small ones in there. I feel like I have a little bit more control with the skewer too. The pencil was kind of smooshy. It wanted to stick more to the page. I think that's looking pretty good. These flags are dry up here, so I'm going to go ahead and use some of my fun colors that I have on the cake to paint up there. Use a small flat brush again. I'm just going to dry it off. And let's come in here. I think I'll do the lavender. Let's see. My daughter, I don't know if you can hear her. She's out there singing. She's a happy child. Oh my goodness. I have a very musical family. I sing myself, so my kids are always singing. Happy singing is always better than grumpy crying. So if they're singing, I don't mind at all. I love it. Okay, I'm coming in with some of this purple red, aka light pink. Or light magenta. Sometimes I think Artist Loft calls it light magenta. And I'm gonna pull up some of the yellow there. I'm gonna stay away from the blue in the background because background is blue. So I don't want the blue background, or the blue is too close to the background, this teal that I use, so I'm just gonna leave that in the cake and not on my little flags. We'll just do this one yellow, and then I'm gonna do that last one in a green. So it kind of coordinates with a fancy little cake here. And this last one is going to be the green. Here. All right, we've got the little flags. Now we need some birthday candles. I don't know. Nobody's telling me what color to do the platter. Should I do it as silver or gold? Or maybe you're telling me and I'm just not seeing it. That could be too. So I'm going to add some candles here. And for right now, I'm just going to paint them as tall stalks. And then we'll add some more detail to that. I know you can't see that one, but that's okay. Just giving me a position of where it is. Now, to tell you the truth, I am not going to be 5. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. So, I am not going to be 5, but I don't think I could paint that many candles on this cake. I'd have to paint 42 candles on here, and I don't think they could fit. So we're going to say that the dots are representative of my age. That might be more, I don't know, that might be more dots than my age. So maybe I don't want to say that. All right, let's let those dry. So last call. Any opinions for silver or gold for my platter? Last call on opinions. I'm going to wait a second because there's a little lag. So I'll wait just a second. While these, you know what, while those are drying, I'm going to paint the little flames here too, because we're going to add some color to that flame. Whenever I think of silver and gold, I always think of that song from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the claymation one that the snowman sings. I think it's Burl Ives. Silver and gold, silver and gold. I love that movie as a kid. I still love that movie. I don't know. It was one of my favorites. Okay. So looking at this, I am thinking, since I did this yellow, I'm afraid if I do gold, it's going to be too close to the yellow. So I'm going to go with silver. Let's see how it looks. If I don't like it, I can always paint over it. Never be afraid of painting with acrylic because you can always paint right over what you painted. All you got to do is let it dry. That's a big mistake people make. They try to fix it while it's still wet, and that's not going to work. It's got to dry first. So I'm going to just bring this silver here. You know what I realized? I have like a silvery teal. That actually might look really cool on this too. I have to think about it. We'll see how this silver turns out. We'll see if I like it. I don't know if I'll like it. I'm thinking maybe adding a little bit of the shiny teal in there might actually give it a little bit of fun color. I always like fun colors to make it pop. So once again, I'm kind of painting in the direction around this platter, keeping it round. It's just easier to paint in that direction. And then this one, paint down this way. So what do we think of the silver? Yeah, it's okay. I also have, let me see if it's still here, because my daughters borrowed a bunch of my paints, and I don't know if they actually put them back, which I don't think they did, so I'm kind of annoyed right now, because they borrowed my shiny paints and they didn't put them back. Girls. Urgh. Let me just peek. It might be on their table. 1 second. Nope. I do not see the paint I am looking for. That means they borrowed it and didn't put it back. So I'm going to have to go figure out what they did with that. Oh no, my broadcast, hold on. Okay, I should be back. My connection is like really bad tonight, apparently. All right, I'm going to come in and work on my candles a little bit. So I'm going to bring this closer so you can see the little birthday candles. And let me just dip that in there. And I'm just going to take some of my colors and I'm going to do one color per candle. So let's do, it's going to do these little stripes. I'm using a liner brush and just creating these stripes. Just like so. And then I'm going to make sure I got to do these not pink. So let's do the pink one over here. Whoops. Let's put a big drip of water in my paint. Sometimes I get water on the brush and then I don't dry it all the way and then I get a big blob. There we go. And let's see, what are my other colors? I've got the teal. I'm going to do the teal one on here because it's not going to show, it's not going to compete with the background. So I'm going to do this one teal, or I think it was like an ocean green or something like that. And then let's do, I've got the yellow and the bright green. I think I'll do the yellow over here. If I can get this, I'm running low on my yellow, it's getting thick on me. Sometimes if it gets thick, it gets a little gobby. There we go. There's a yellow candle. This is a very coordinated cake. And then my green one. And I'm going to add a touch of color here for the flames. A little bit of yellow. Just going to add a touch of white in there. Give them a real glow. Then some of the finer details. So I'm going to take some of this blue that I used for the cake itself, and let's see here, we got kind of a shadow going this way, so I'm going to say the light source is kind of coming from this side over here. So let's do just a little bit of a shadow under our candles. So kind of stretching out this way under each candle. And I feel like the edge just needs a little bit of something. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my liner brush and just kind of do a decorative edge around this, just because I can still see my pencil lines. And I would like to have a finished edge. So I'm just taking my brush here. I have some white and blue on it, and I'm just swooping it with little swoops. I don't know if you can see that. Oops, sorry, I did that whole blue thing. You didn't even see it. Let me do my swoops and I'll go back and show you what I did on the what is it? The pedestal. So I'm just doing these little swoops, almost like frosting the edge of the cake here. Trust me, this is a lot easier than squeezing a frosting thing. But sometimes my hands hurt. I mean, cake decorators must have really strong finger muscles when they're doing that all day long. Very lovely decorative edge. I'm keeping the paint thick too. It just looks cooler that way. It looks like frosting. I will tell you the truth though, I am not a big frosting person. I actually don't really care for frosting. It's got to be like really light. I like light whipped frosting. Like I think Melanie said earlier, the cream cheese frost. I can do cream cheese frosting. I don't like the real heavy sugary stuff. That just I scrape it off, and I like the cake with the ice cream itself, and I'll just eat it that way. Add a touch more blue just here along this bottom edge, just to kind of accentuate this cake so we can see it better. And I'm going to take just a little bit of white here and add some accent on the flag. And I think, wouldn't it be fun if there was a little sparkle? So, the very last step here, I have some glitter paints. It is called Galaxy Glitter. It's by Deco Art. They have a bunch of these. A lot of times I'll use glitter glue and I'll paint it right on there. But this stuff has a bit bigger chunks, like the little chunks of glitter are bigger than the glitter glue, and I think it would be perfect for my tablecloth. So I'm going to kind of use an old flat brush here and just kind of paint it on here. Let's get some glitz. This is going to be so cool. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on there. So I'm just going to take and kind of trail it Get some stripes here, some glistening stripes. I feel like this cake is just not standing out enough. So I'm going to take a little bit of the darker blue and give it just an edge here. Let me see. I don't want to do too much. If I go overboard, it might be too much. This is just a cerulean blue. And I'm going to pull some white into that because I don't want it to take over too much. Just want this little bit of a shadow to be just a tad bit darker. So it really sets off my top layer from my bottom layer. That's it. Can you see the sparkle? Sparkly. There, now you can see how sparkly it is. All right, I am going to switch back. So, oop, got my light in there, back it up. I'm getting used to all these lights. So thank you for those that were able to tune in. I hope you enjoyed watching the cake painting. I'm like trying to talk and I'm talking really slow. Anyways, thank you for all the birthday wishes. I really appreciate them. I'm excited tomorrow. I'm taking the day off to do some fun things, some fun me things. So thank you so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I'll be popping in later this week. So make sure you keep following the Painted Toad so you can find out what I'm up to. Okay, have a great night. Thanks for coming.